space. But when I was looking at Neuralink, I like their whole architecture seemed extremely beautiful in the sense that it's basically like a hockey puck that you stick on your head, but it's an outpatient procedure. I love that, looking at Paradromics as like a contrast, like you have to have surgery to put that in, and it's really well embedded into the body. I think their current architecture is like it goes all the way down from the neck into like your chest, kind of like a pacemaker. Where Neuralinks, for the most part, I think it's just like a little hockey puck that sits on your head. They can just pop it in and out. And so I imagine like the upgrading of the sensors and stuff like that. That like you'd have less obsolescence of technology because you could upgrade it, but also at the same time, it's easier to get into a wide variety of people. Like how many neurosurgeons exist in the United States? Like the cost of getting a neurosurgeon's time, like I imagine that's like $250,000 just to get like an hour of their time. And that's assume it's only gonna take an hour. So you can just see like that logarithmic increase in just getting it out there to people. And then your point as well, the like sewing it in there, the fact that they're using like their Tesla experience of building machine learning to specifically like thread through to cause the least damage as possible to get the most bang for their buck in terms of like neural connectivity. I thought that was really elegant. I think Paradromics to some extent is kind of like they have like a crap ton of sensors and it's kind of like they're just like gonna ingest it all in. But I don't like it's like really cool technology on Paradromics' part, in my opinion. And so I'm curious to hear your thought on this. But like it's not all that scalable in terms of like getting into people in a mass way. Where Neuralink seems very scalable and controllable and upgradable, which I think is all really good things, especially if we're having Moore's law every couple like 18 months or whatever. You can imagine like you get something put into yourself in February, by the end of the year, you can't keep up. Like there's something better that would have helped you even further, and you have to go under surgery again for Paradromics architecture. But I'm curious, how do you compare and contrast between those two architectures in your mind?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see how well the Neuralink stuff actually pans out, and if they can do that hockey puck size thing, and there are some issues with that, but definitely, I think that is the correct approach. And I mean, having an extremely skilled surgeon, of which there are not, infinite amounts in the world. You might only be able to count it on one or two hands in the world, and yeah, so it's much better to have like some kind of automated process like what Neuralink was proposing is some kind of robotic thing where you just click one button, and some decently skilled nurse or something like this, somebody who knows medical things, but doesn't have to be like a neurosurgeon trained for 2 decades or something like this in the art. I think that it's a much better way to do things, and it's also much cheaper, so having kind of this automated process, it's a little bit like a LASIK eye surgery, and where it's a little bit automated, and that's a few $1,000, which is pretty reasonable. But a deep brain stimulation can be $150,000, and but a lot of that isn't just the surgeon; it's the actual device itself, and then hospital fees and stays and everything like this. If you are staying around in the hospital for a week, that can get very expensive too. But yeah, I think it's in the end, we'll probably need both, and we wouldn't be able to get to wherever we want to go without both. And I really do like the Paradromics approach of just putting a crap ton of channels and let God sort them out, versus being like, oh, we have two channels that are working, and like let's figure out what's going on from there. And it's better to throw away, to have too much data than too little. You can always throw away data, so I think that's really cool. But so that is really improving things, I think, and it's been very exciting for me to watch them, their technology. I think it's great. But it has its pros and cons as everything.